Those of Xibalba spoke, and they said, "No one will ever cut this fruit, nor enter the shade below the tree." Thus it was no longer clear which had belonged to Hunhunapu. His face became identical to the pale curve of the calabash, and so the calabash tree came to be known, as well as the telling of this tale, and soon a maiden heard it told. We will tell it now of her arrival there. This then is the story of a maiden, the daughter of the lord named Ixkik. She was the daughter of a lord, and thus was known as Ixkik. When she heard the account of the fruit tree from her father, she was astonished by the tale.
Can't I somehow see this tree to better understand its strangeness? I've heard that the fruit is truly delicious.
And she left alone to wander beneath the calabash tree at Devastation Ball Court.
Ah, what is this fruit? How could it not be delicious? The fruit borne by this tree. I will not die. I will not be lost. Who would even hear if I picked one?
Then the skull spoke, there in the midst of the tree. What could you desire from this? It's just bone, a round thing, stuck in the branches. You do not desire it, she was told.
But I do desire it.
Then open your right hand and reach up into the branches so that I can see it, said the skull.
Very well,
said the maiden, and she stretched her right hand up to the face of the skull, and it squeezed out a little spit into her open palm. She then looked into her hand. She wasted no time, but the skull's saliva was gone. The saliva was a sign that I have given you. This head of mine no longer functions. A skull without flesh just doesn't work. It is the same with the head of even a great lord. It is merely the flesh that makes it look good. And then, when he dies, people are frightened because of his bones. His son remains behind, spat into the world, his spittle, his essence. If his son becomes a lord, a great sage, a master of speech, nothing is lost. The line continues to be fulfilled and made complete. The face of the Lord is not ruined or extinguished. The warrior, the sage, abides in his daughters and sons. Thus it will be also, as I have now done to you. Climb then to the face of the earth. You will not die. You have entered into the word, so be it, said the skull. This then was the creation of Hunapu and Ixbalanque. Once the maiden had arrived and spent 6 moons at her home, she was found out by her father. Thus the maiden was discovered, and her father saw that she was with child. So all the lords gathered their thoughts. Hun Kame, Wukub Kame, and her father. My daughter is carrying a child. She is heavy with a bastard, my lords, said the father of Ixkik. Very well. Try to pry the truth from behind her teeth. When she doesn't, then she will be sacrificed. We will send her far away, and she will be sacrificed. As you wish, my lords, said the father of Ixkik. Then he asked his daughter, who is responsible for the child planted in your belly, my daughter?
there is no child, my father. I've yet to know the face of any man.
But clearly you have known something other than his face. Very well, warrior lords, he said to the 4 owls. Sacrifice her and bring her heart back, here, inside this bowl, so the lords might examine it this very day. And so they soared into the air, carrying the bowl and clutching the maiden in their talons. They took the white dagger as the instrument of her sacrifice.
You messengers will not succeed in this killing, because what grows within me does not come from fornication. It was an act of mere creation. I only went to Devastation Ball Court to admire the head of Hun Hunapu. Don't do this then, you messengers. Don't sacrifice me, please.
But what can we offer in place of your heart? For your father said clearly, bring her heart back here, so the lords can examine it. They must hold it in their hands, if they will be satisfied. Bring it quickly. Place her heart in the hollow of this bowl. Is this not what we were told? What then will we slip into the bowl? For we want above all that you should not die, said the messengers.
Very well, then it will be so. My heart will not belong to them, and you will no longer make your home here, forcing captives to their death. You will take only those who have truly been lascivious. As for one death and seven death, they will just receive sap from the tree that weeps blood, the croton tree. So be it. This is what you will burn before them, not the steady heart inside me. Use what the tree gives you.
The juices of the tree flowed red and slowly drained into a bowl, where they congealed and took shape. This tree gave its pith in place of her heart. It oozed until it paled, offering red sap instead of the maiden's blood. She gathered a full bowl. The surface glistened crimson as she turned it into the light. Because it was cut by the maiden, the tree is called Red Sacrifice. She named the sap blood.
Now you are blessed on the face of the earth. It has become yours.
She said to the owls. Very well then, maiden. We will soar upward and hide you. But first we must return so that we might offer this heart before the faces of the lords, said the messengers. The messengers arrived before the gathering, and the lords were waiting for them. Was it not successful? Asked Hun Kame. It was indeed, my lord. Her heart is nestled here at the bottom of this bowl. Very good now. Let me see for myself, said Hun Kame. And he plucked it with his long fingers and lifted it up into the light, so it dripped and shined with gore. Its surface was bright with blood. Stir the face of the fire and place it there above the flames, said Hun Kame. Then it crackled and spattered on the fire, while everyone in Xibalba savored the fragrance. They rose and gathered there, leaning intently into the heat, hungering as they always do for the delicious smell of blood. The owls left them like this, bent over and oblivious, while they swept the maiden up and left her at the opening, there at the top of the world, before they turned and flew back down. So the lords of Xibalba were defeated because the maiden duped them blind